welcome back to another edition of the Jagged Edge. It's Ian here along with Chris.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, number 86 for us in the news. It's finally flowing again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff this week, just like last week.
Plenty happening.
Yeah. I don't have to put on the rage hat too much this week, though. But there's one thing in particular. Actually, a couple things kind of ticked me off. So there'll be more ranting and raving.
Oh, yeah. So get your bib out.
That's right. I'm going to be chomping on some stuff.
And rightfully so. You know, we've got a whole lot we're preparing for on this end. Besides, Chris has hit up Resident Evil, doing a whole bunch of that in the channel now. We're going to have a couple more things in the retro department on the way. Mega Man 2, also some stuff from Steam, but then the rest of the games around the corner. Oh my goodness, Kingdom Hearts 3 into this month, Anthem starting off February. It's going to be busy around here.
Yep. You and your Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh and Donald Duck and Goofy and what is the guy's name? What isn't that some ridiculous name? The main character? It's dumb.
Sora.
Yep.
Which
See?
means
I was right.
Sky.
It's dumb. Okay. That's even stupider. That's Sky. That's my buddy Donald Duck.
Your face.
That's right.
Says the guy who won't touch Kingdom Hearts with a 10-foot pole.
I don't need to eat a turd to know I'm not gonna like it. Okay? It doesn't matter what my dog likes to eat. Dog can eat turds. That's fine.
It ain't your thing.
Turd eating is not my thing.
It's not your thing, but gameplay says otherwise, so whatevs, man.
Whatever. People can like what they like. That's fine. They're wrong, but that's fine.
That is such a passive aggressive way to pan it. You can like what you're wrong, but you can like it.
Yeah, you can like it. That's
yeah.
Sure. I don't have to sit and watch it.
Sure, whatever. Oh man, that's also something I'm gonna have to you. That's also gonna be up on the channel too. I'm gonna do a quick pre-roundup here, kind of like how we're not quite as involved with what Chris is doing for the MK Mortal Kombat 11 footage stuff. But I'm just going to be talking a little bit about why I'm looking forward to playing KH3. And spoilers, it's not because of the story.
I would hope not. Don't mind me. Don't mind the Square Enix hater over here.
Tinfoil hat. No.
Just ignore me.
Oh, man. But hey.
Or comment below on how much you hate it.
Or join in. Better yet, right?
Or join in. You can join in. There's plenty for both.
I love it. Well, we had no shortage of trailers here. I was so excited about this. Doesn't take much to get me hyped.
Excited you didn't even tell me.
I know, right?
Like I shared it with you, and you're like, I saw it earlier. Just like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I was going all day, didn't even know about it because I was busy.
You are usually even more on top of this stuff than I am. So like maybe I made like a bad assumption with that. I'm like, he's got this. I don't need to tell him.
You got it. The feed was slow on it that day.
Oh,
so
man.
We are talking about Spider-Man Far From Home teaser trailer.
Yes. We finally get our first official trailer for this.
No, you're supposed to keep talking. And
darn it! It's too fun. I wanted to join in. Here,
it's done now. No, it's done.
Okay, I ruined it. All right. I ruined the moment. No. I get it. It's fine.
No.
This is one of the first, besides... Well, no. This is the first post-Infinity War trailer we get, is it not?
Yes.
Technically, Captain Marvel... Yeah, we're dealing with prequel stuff.
Captain Marvel's beforehand, like, by 20-some years.
It is.
So, yes, this is our first post, Endgame. Yep. So... Kevin Feige even said, I think even over a year ago, that Far From Home is going to take place immediately after Endgame. So, there's a lot here, but there's also a lot not here. Excuse me. There's a lot that's not there.
Right.
Something I noticed, they got this confirmed with some research I was doing. At the beginning, you see Happy there with that big check for $500,000.
Right.
Signed by Pepper Potts.
Yep.
But that's for some kind of homeless shelter or something, which a lot of people are pointing to Aunt May working at, similar to the shelter that Aunt May worked at in the PS4 game.
Right. So hey, there's lots of cool stuff happening here too, and not just with the whole allusions to Pepper Potts and everything in Stark World, but also a huge chunk of this trailer, freaking Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. Yep. Sorry,
So,
I have more to that. Just his name.
no, no, no. Yeah, I figured she did. I was waiting for it for a sec, but no. Look, we had in fact, you'd mentioned this beforehand when we saw the new suit. When we first saw our first shots of that, you jumped back to there was a time when Spidey was working with Shield. We could very well see that same kind of alliance happening with Shield again here. Sure enough, sure enough.
I think that's where this leads to. It's my understanding that Nick Fury is actually in Europe, not so much for Spider-Man, but because of Mysterio.
Right, right.
We finally got to see for the first time.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Looks like you're seeing the Elementals in this as well, but I think they're not going to be the same characters in that group. At least not all of them. That being said, I don't think there are actually any of them are in there. I believe they are manifestations from Mysterio.
Right, right. No, this is cool though, dude. This was one of the villains that I always saw on the guess who's going to be in the next Spidey list. I would always see this name appear. It looks like people were right. I mean, Marvel's shown their ability to not necessarily have to use the Carnages or the Venoms of the world all the time to introduce an awesome villain to a Spider-Man movie and make it cool. And I got no doubt that's something else cool we're going to see here. So on top of not being quite tippity-topped off of Spider-Man stuff, this was just a cherry on top. This was a flower for the day. I'm amped about this. I can't wait. Yeah. And of course, I can't wait to see, well, how do we get everything back? How is he even at this point? We'll see in Endgame.
Right. Life seems very okay for someone who at this point in time is dead.
It does. And I think one of the most jarring things here is the lack of I'm alive. It's right. It's just right. We're proceeding. Well,
and not
right
even just from him, but for anybody.
You're right.
It looks like the world just kept going on. Who knows the explanation for this?
Right.
Are anyone who was dusted? Are they even going to remember what happened?
Right.
A lot of the answers that obviously comes in about 3 months, but. It's fun to ponder. I mean, we don't see Tony Stark. We do see Happy. We see a check signed by Pepper Potts. Happy makes the quick statement of "you're on your own," or to that effect at one point in there. There's a lot to speculate about. People dig into these things trying to find every nook and cranny, but at the end of the day, MCU does a really good job of hiding these things.
Oh, they do.
So. I think the link for Spider-Man and Shield is at least going to be shown in this movie. Maybe it's a permanent connection. I actually, for the next Spider-Man movie, would like to see a much darker film. This one seemed to still kind of have its 80s teenage kind of vibe to it, even using some of that music from that era again, and that's fine. But at some point, Spidey-Man's got to grow up a little bit, and I would think that in the next movie, which will be probably 2-3 years from now, I mean, he's going to be 18 or so.
Right.
The actor's already in his early 20s. So,
right.
You can't spend forever in the high school era. You get a couple good flicks out of it, and they will. But I like the fact that they just, even in passing, they put in a couple nuggets about how he is very much the neighborhood Spider-Man, and there's some other superheroes in that neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
And the timeline can work out right for Marvel Studios to be able to use them.
Very well could
in a third movie. So make it happen.
Cool. Last but not least, can I just say how happy I am to see the old school under the arm web gliders again?
Yes, that was cool. But honestly, every time I've seen it now, it's just like they just wouldn't glide like that, though.
No,
wouldn't glide like that. I got a little bit of a problem with that, but I mean, but no, that was cool to see it.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we'd commented once before that it was weird that they didn't exist.
Yeah. That's old school, the old school. But yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait. This is one I'll gladly see as early as possible. So coming off of 2018, the year of Spider-Man, the hits just keep coming. I love it.
July 5th for that one.
Woo! Right after the 4th. Sweet. I get to eat barbecue and then go see that. I'm down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, check this out too. We got the Ghostbusters 3 teaser trailer with none other than Bill Murray.
Well, now you don't say that.
Okay, sorry,
Don't say
sorry,
that. That's not
sorry.
confirmed. But this came out of nowhere.
It did. It did.
Jason Rittman, Ivan Rittman's son, he's leading this thing and he's directing it. There's not a heck of a lot of information out. Nobody knew this was coming out, including the original cast. This came out of nowhere. What little I've been able to find out is that this is going to focus around a new team of teenagers. They're going the Stranger Things route with it. That can be good or bad. It does certainly sound like Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson will make appearances to some effect. They're looking at this as maybe being the kids or grandkids, some of them being kids or grandkids of some of the original cast. There was a little bit of description on 2 out of 4 of the new characters. I'm not going to get into all that because they were very vague, and everything's very vague right now about it. But,
right.
Bill Murray hasn't said anything yet. Of course, Bill Murray is the whole reason why we're not on Ghostbusters 6 right now, because he has continued to refuse to make a sequel despite making an appearance as a different character in the attempt at a reboot 2 years ago, which failed. But this just blew my brains out when I saw it the other day. And I'm like, what? Look, if they have some kind of substantial role, a couple of guys from the original cast, I'm fine with that. This has connective tissue. This is in the same world.
Right.
I'm sure this is going to connect in some meaningful way. Could it end up being horrible? It absolutely could. But, sometimes in order to learn how to do something, you have to try and fail.
Right.
And if anything can be pulled away from the 2016 version with that reboot, is that, look, we tried and we failed.
Right.
So take what you learned from that, the good and the bad, and make a good shot at this. I think this is an attempt to reboot this franchise, or continue it, I should say, but with a new cast of characters, and they're all young. And if it takes off, they could be making Ghostbuster movies for years. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
You're not going to be able to bring the magic of the original cast and crew and movies back. And the truth of it is, Ghostbusters 2 wasn't that great of a movie, and I could even tell that when I was a kid. The first one was so great for so many ways and reasons. A lot of them were not intentional, and a lot of people forget about that. Bill Murray played such an influential role as to why that thing was so funny, and he ad-libbed most of his lines in both movies. And I mean, we're not gonna get it again. We're just not. And even if he decides to be in this next one, great. But he may not, just like he's refused to make one for forever.
Right.
So, but you know what? This is fine. A lot of people don't know or they don't remember. What was it? The Extreme Ghostbusters or something like that. It was a reboot of the cartoon. Did you ever see that? That might have landed around your age.
I was about to say I was a youngin' for that.
But yeah. If you go back on that, I mean, it had obviously a much smaller following. It kind of, you're kind of in the 90s now for cartoons and stuff, and they just weren't as popular as they were in the 80s. Of course, the real Ghostbusters cartoon was fantastic, and it tackled themes in horror in a way that cartoons just never had before. But the Extreme one was actually pretty good. They also tackled a lot of topics and such that just you didn't normally see in cartoons. If they went that route, I would be okay with it. Take care not to forget, and try to have a feel and a taste of the first 2 movies.
Sure.
If you make a stinker, I'll let you know. But the trailer was awesome.
Yeah, Ghostbusters is a franchise that I think has the flexibility to do this. Not just to make a comeback, but that you could have another team and still easily immerse them, in this world and everything else they deal with, and have a huge threat That's good. Not every big franchise has that kind of maneuverability.
Well, they didn't. They didn't actually, and it's only recently that they've been able to. Of course, now that Harold Ramis has passed away a couple years ago,
right.
They can't bring all the cast back. But they didn't have that flexibility, and I think things are maybe to the point now where they can have that flexibility.
What did you say that they okay? So if you're saying they didn't have that flexibility, you're saying that Ghostbusters was tied to a specific cast before, and outside of them, you wouldn't have Ghostbusters, correct?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. No, and, yeah, up until probably after the 2016 garbage that we got. No, the expectation was you have to have the original cast in there. It feels like things have changed now, though.
Right.
So,
because I would think, I mean, right now in 2019, just thinking about this series, as I think about the concept alone, I would hope that could work elsewhere.
I think so. I think so now. I think the concept of it, as long as it connects correctly and the film's done in a way that does justice and respect to the original two movies, I think you can do it now.
Sure. Cool. Let's see where this goes. Man.
Yeah.
Rounding off our trailer list was John Wick. This is coming out May 17th, and this is Chapter 3. I believe this is called Parabellum.
Sure.
This is going to star Keanu Reeves, of course, reprising his role, and Halle Berry is going to be in this one.
Is that Halle Berry?
Yeah.
Wow, I knew she looked familiar. I'm like, ooh, I know that. Who
Crazy,
is that?
Right.
Gosh, she has not aged a bit.
She hasn't. That's what's crazy. Look at her. It's like you just haven't. I think the last thing I saw her in was what was that? Is that Kingsman 2 or 3? She was in one of those.
Well, they didn't make a third one.
No, okay. Well, okay. I guess it was 2. But that's the last time I remember her. And you're right. She doesn't look a day older. That's insane. Good genes.
It is crazy.
But
and she's got a couple dogs.
She does. The
last thing in the end of that trailer when she's running with the guns and she's got the couple dogs charging in, that's just badass.
Yeah.
That's just badass.
It's pretty cool that this is a trilogy. I mean, after the first 2, I can't see this being anything. But I really enjoy John Wick. I really like the first, and I kept saying, look, if you hadn't messed with the guy's dog, he might have let the car go. He might have let other stuff, the vandalism, he might have let that go, but you had to kill the man's dog. Come on now, people.
I've not seen either John Wick movies.
Oh, really?
I've made an attempt on 3 different occasions to sit down and watch John Wick 1.
What happened?
And they get interrupted. They've been interrupted every time. So at this point, I will make it an issue to watch these, similar to what I did with Glass. I'll watch them just before the third one. I know everybody knows the plot to it. I mean, they killed the guy's dog, so he's like, all right, that's enough of that shit. So, I've watched about half of the first one. I haven't seen the second one at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'll be all up for it by the time we do a review for it in May.
If you're looking for an action flick, that's worth tuning into.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
Fun stuff. So, I dug this trailer. It's what I would expect along the lines of the John Wick movies, and like you said, we'll be in the slot when this thing comes down for review. Sweet. Well, some bad news though on the streaming front. Netflix prices, they're going to hike up for 2019.
Idiots.
Netflix
asshole
just announced this week that all of their subscription services are going to be bumping up in price. The basic plan is going to go from $8 to $9. HD service is going from $11 up to $13. And finally, if you watch in 4K, that's going from $14 up to $15.
Eat my butt.
Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Why? Why? You just canceled all my favorite stuff.
And that's gone, and that's gone. Here, have a price hike.
Yeah. Dirty people.
That sucks.
I'm hanging in there for Stranger Things, and I'm hanging in there for the Dark Crystal prequel limited series, and I don't know, Netflix. We'll see. We'll see after that. But you and I mean, I swear, we're not even on talking terms right now. This is. You're lucky I'm saying this to you right this minute. This is BS. You better just stop it.
Marvel was one of the reasons I picked back up Netflix in the first place. Way back, I first got Netflix to catch up on some really, really, really old films that I just couldn't find anywhere else. I was looking for some of the old stuff like Kurosawa's films and Seven Samurai and all that good stuff. And it was nice to go somewhere like Netflix and have good library stuff that I could just go to. But then everything came out with Marvel. We had Daredevil and all that other good stuff. And
Punisher came out, by the way, this weekend.
Oh wow! You see how off the radar it's been for us? We're both kind of like.
Well, we're not watching anymore because it's not relevant to the MCU.
It's not. It's not.
I hope it's good though. I will catch it. I finally caught most of Daredevil now.
Cool. Oh, we caught up in that season. How many episodes?
Not all of it. Not all of it. I've got a few left.
How do you like it so far?
It's fine. I caught about 4 episodes of it when it first came out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's fine. I think it's a little overhyped, to be honest with you. I mean, it's fine,
right?
But it's not. I feel like I'm watching. I feel like I'm watching one of those old cop shows that used to be on like NBC or something like that.
Yeah, I got that vibe too.
Those investigation shows. That's what I feel like I'm watching.
Yeah.
I want to see Daredevil.
You will. No, keep watching. I'd love to talk to you at the end of that one too. So sweet.
But I want to, I better, when I turn on Punisher, I better see someone dead within the first 5 minutes. That's it. Or I want to see him cleaning the gutters.
One or the other.
Just let me know right away what I'm getting into. It's like, okay, this is more of what we had last season where he's doing home improvement chores. Okay. Or is it, okay, you're actually giving me the Punisher this time. All right. So let me know right away.
Oh, man. Good stuff. I'm with you, dude. As far as hanging in there with Netflix for stuff, you're there for Stranger Things and Dark Crystal.
I mean, I'm pretty sure what I'm gonna do at some point is I'm just gonna end up coordinating with you and Isaac and Jason because you can share the account with 4 other people,
right?
And we're just gonna coordinate this thing and just make it cheaper for all.
Yeah, because I'm dwindling here, man. I'm kind of running out of stuff. So, well. Come Disney. I
was gonna say the mouse overlord is calling us. This time next year, we will be giving the mouse money every month.
That's a killer transition, by the way, because there is a little something coming out on Disney Plus. We know this is coming. This is Lady Sif. She's going to be getting her own MCU limited TV show. This is a report we were following from Film.net, discussing Film.net. They're basically saying this limited show run is going to be on Disney Plus streaming, along with Falcon, Loki, and also the Winter Soldiers, possibly some others too. We don't know yet. But this is, big deal. $100 million budget is going to be given to the show, similar to all others.
Yeah,
nice.
That's Lady Sif.
Nice.
Why? I mean, she's fine, but why? It's my understanding that the only reason she's not dead is because there was a scheduling conflict with some film that she was doing at the time that Thor Ragnarok was being recorded. Otherwise, she'd be dead like all the other ones.
Yeah, exactly. And we kept saying, wasn't Thor Ragnarok? Where the heck is she? Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. Sure. Why? I mean, but why? I mean, she's not even like a D-level hero here. I don't.
I'll bite. Look, I'll bite. At the very least, that could fill in one of the most minor questions we had about Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, sure. That's that. Okay.
I mean, dude, her crew got straight up murdered.
Yep.
I mean, Hela just clean house. So
they were good deaths.
They were fast deaths too.
I would have to reckon to think, and I said reckon.
I reckon so.
I reckon. I reckon they're giving this lady her own show to try to appeal to the lady demographic.
Well, chicken and waffles.
Yeah, I do. I think it's something like that, which is fine. Sure, why not? But really, besides that, I can't think of a reason. I mean, she's not that fleshed out of a character. I've never heard one person say to me, I want the Thor to see Lady Sif.
Same.
So,
Just not the first you think of. I mean, for a while you had the whole hints at a love triangle thing. I think like in Thor 2, but
Yeah, there was a little bit of that.
yeah, a little bit. But that kind of fell off. So I'd check it out. So still, I mean, it especially
Yeah,
for
but you
saying
know what?
MCU.
I'll check it out because it's there.
Right,
But I'm not subbing for that.
right. No, oh, I agree. I agree. That doesn't carry a sub by itself. So I think the whole collective what they're releasing does instead. So well, moving on to some bad comic news. I can't
No,
help
it's not.
I can't
It's
help
not.
but laugh. I'm laughing at this. This
It's justice, is what it is.
it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
It's the hard truth of justice.
Yeah. So, if look, any of you listening who have sort of followed some of the cookie trails, or not even cookie, just breadcrumbs we've been trying to follow about this stuff for Gambit, Kitty Pryde. Maybe there's going to be this thing, Silver Surfer. Maybe we're going to have this thing with X-Force. That Doctor Doom Multiple Man. Look, well, guess what? It's done.
It's done.
It's all canceled.
I actually, when I read this, I was like, oh, that's right, they were going to make a Doctor Doom.
Yep.
I didn't even know they were doing a Silver Surfer.
Right.
I don't even remember that. But yeah, like you said, Gambit, Kitty Pryde, Multiple Man, Doctor Doom, Silver Surfer, and X Force. You're
Man.
done. Get out of here. Get all of you with all of your shit. Pack it up. You're done. Multiple Man could have been cool. I think that was supposed to be James Franco, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that could have been fun, but no. Look, end this continuity. I have to laugh as soon as I see continuity.
Yeah.
End of this universe. That, I mean, it was so bad that they were going to connect Fantastic Four with the X-Men universe. It was so bad they couldn't even do that. And just kill it. Kill it all. It's like that firework that you shut off that just didn't shoot all of them out. And eventually you have to stomp them.
Yeah.
You got to stomp it out and put some water on it. We said that most of these we'd never see.
Yeah.
When you talk about Gambit, I'm like, you'll never see that. Kitty Pryde, you're never going to see it.
No.
Multiple Man, no, you're not going to see it. X-Force was a little surprising, but not really. I still am putting bets on. I'm still betting Man, Dark Phoenix, and New Mutants. We will not get those movies.
I think that's a fair bet. I mean that's the only those are the only things there left, right? I mean
that's it. And no one wants to see them.
No.
No one wants to see Dark Phoenix. It's like it's the same movie they put out. What was that? Almost 15 years ago now.
Yep.
And New Mutants. I mean, they got we talked about this. It got so close they even put out a trailer, then they yanked it.
Yep.
And it's been reshoot after reshoot. Nobody cares.
And
Nobody cares.
I agree, dude. Look, all of this, it ended with Logan, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. That's
Done.
when it should have ended.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's what we said then when we reviewed it. This should be it.
Yep.
Just stop right here, and if you're going to do anything, start a new thing. But no, and Rob Layfield made a really funny comment about the X-Force thing, and he said pour one out for old X-Force, and I didn't put this in the notes, but then he says an easy 800 million. No, it's not.
No.
Apocalypse, I don't even think it made 500 million or made around there. It was the lowest grossing superhero movie that year.
It was an apocalypse, all right.
It was. And no, I don't think Dark Phoenix will make enough money. I don't even think it'll break even. New Mutants was shot on a really small budget, but no, they just end it. Just end it.
Yeah.
I mean, it should go out as a whimper. And just, it's been a couple years. People who don't follow these things aren't even going to know.
Right.
There will be rumors. Didn't they put out a trailer for Nancy just let it go. Just let it go. Just make them dust. Make them dust.
Snap your fingers.
Snap your finger, Kevin Feige, and just make them dust. Let them just make them go away. We got Logan out of it. We got Logan. We got some good movies back in the early '80s. These were very influential to put comic book movies where they were. They should sit where they were at the beginning of this thing. These movies have been ridiculously outdated and inappropriate for where comic movies are for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
First Class was a thing, and that was good, and then you just completely borked that. So, just let it go. Marvel Studios, just kill it. Just, put your arm around it and be like, come on, buddy, let's go in the back room and talk for a minute. And just then walk out by yourself.
There can only be one.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, it's dead, Jim. I mean, at this time.
Most of them are.
Most of them are.
That Gambit movie, though, good God, that... Oh.
Yeah, I mean, look, I always like Gambit. As far as the X-Men, he was one of my favorites. I think the last time... Yeah, dude, the last time I read anything Gambit related was the Phalanx offshoot stuff they had in the 90s, and he was dealing with some side stuff with, like, that involved, like, Rogue and, like, Cable and stuff like that. That was fun. That was a good read, but... Yeah, as far as happening as a movie, we just didn't have the right grounds for it. No,
I've never been a Gambit fan. I always thought he was kind of stupid. Is Channing Tatum even acting anymore? I haven't seen him in anything in a while.
I haven't either. I mean, he should be, but it could just be one of those deals where either can't find the right thing or.
Who knows?
But you know what, Gambit?
He's not playing Gambit.
Well, you know what he'd say to you, Chris? Well, Gambit don't go where Gambit is invited. So.
That's fine. You're not invited to my theater.
You don't stay out.
No.
Oh man!
Not until they recast you and put you in the proper continuity. Then you can come back.
I can see. That I can see.
Then you can come back.
Fair enough. All right. Well, to wrap up what we're talking about with movies and streaming services, this goes to none other than Star Wars. But we're looking at a fan film. This was specifically a Star Wars Theory fan film. And of all things, this got monetized by Warner Chappelle, and Lucasfilm strikes it down.
Yeah, so this thing got released at the end of last month, and it got, we weren't doing a lot. We were doing a couple things. We were getting some Let's Plays out, but we weren't really covering a lot of news at the end of the year. So it kind of got lost for us. But yeah, beautiful fan film, one of the best ones out there. I was gonna say one of the better ones, but no, it's one of the best ones out there. Made by Star Wars Theory. It's called Vader. It's part 1 of multiple parts. I believe he intends to do 2 or 3. I know he's gonna try to get the second one going. Really great. It's got almost almost 8 million views.
It's on its way there. I think it was like 7.8, 7.9. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fan film. People, tons of people make this, and depending on what approach you take with it, you actually call, like he did, you call Lucasfilm and you ask them, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? Lucasfilm, whether it was under Disney or George Lucas, has generally been very inviting to fan films, and a lot of what we see nowadays with cosplays and cons and such is due in large part to Star Wars.
Yep.
The road was not paved by them alone, but was paved in large part with them. Star Trek also gets obviously a huge nod for that.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I think it could be openly debated which ones had more of an influence. Yeah, so he makes his fan film, and it goes over really well. Everybody generally likes it. A lot of people, are poking over at Lucasfilms like, look, somebody made a fan film better than The Last Jedi. This guy's 16-minute fan film is better than your 2.5-hour piece of shit. And they're just they're poking a lot of fun. Okay, look, here's where it gets weird. Most people in their fan films, if they don't just outright copy a lot of the music from these films, will make versions that are very similar to keep that feel and aesthetic going. In this case, I believe he had his own music made for the film, but there was a bit of it that was very similar to some of the Empire music from the original movies. Mm-hmm. So because of this, Warner Chappell, who owns the rights to these things, which is connected to Disney and all that stuff, they're like, hey, you're trying to, you've got something super popular here. And again, Star Wars Theory is not even monetizing this.
Right.
Not even trying to. Not trying to make any money off of it. This was a passion project. They They did their own independent funding for it, not monetizing. They're not trying to make any money off of this at all. So, but Warner Chappell's like, you know what? We could though. And because they filed a claim with YouTube saying, hey, this and this and this is very similar to our music. So they started monetizing his fan film.
It's so jacked up.
Is that just not? I mean, that's just slime. It's just dirty. I mean, so they're like, hey, you did all the work, but because this seems very similar legally to what we own, we're going to start taking all the money that you weren't even trying to get. That's just dirty.
We're trying to get it. Doesn't matter. We want it.
And the guy who runs and owns Star Wars Theory, really nice guy. You can tell from the videos. I mean, he's just he seems like a really cool guy. This is what he does for a living. He makes really good videos, which typically has to do with one piece or another from Star Wars lore, be it comics or legends or current canon or whatever. A lot of fun stuff. He's made a solid go of it. He just puts up some videos. One explaining what's happened here. The second one just like, hey, you know what? Whatever, take the money. Just don't. He basically says, look, I can't really fight him on this, even though I don't agree with it. Just take the money, but just don't screw around with anything else. But the outcry to this was so loud that Lucasfilm actually ended this, and they talked to Warner Chappell, and they just did whatever they had to, and so the monetization had stopped. And good on you, Lucasfilm, for righting a wrong. You haven't always done that where we wanted you to.
Right.
So, but kudos to them. It's good to see that. The guy, I forget his name, the guy who runs Star Wars Theory, made some really good points in being being super nice and kind of passive about the whole thing, but made some really good points. Like, hey, look, why aren't you messing with anyone else's videos? Why aren't you monetizing anyone else's videos? But more to the point, and more specifically to his fan film, why aren't you monetizing anyone's reaction videos while they're watching it? The music's in there.
Yeah.
Why aren't you monetizing those? Why aren't you messing with those? There was a little bit of screwing around here in this whole thing, but I'm glad Lucasfilm put an end to it. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know how much they had to really do with it to begin with.
Right.
But at least they put an end to it. And, for his sake, which is a great fan film, but also just to continue the tradition that we've had with Star Wars fan films and Lucas being inviting to those things. It's so skeevy. It's just like, oh, yeah, no, make your fan film. Yeah, don't worry about what I'm doing behind your back. I'm not trying to take money. That's so nasty.
This really delves into the whole slippery slope of not just where we are today with IPs and copyright and everything, but when it comes to actually looking at this stuff, when companies try to dip into it and look at the monetary angle of it, they don't. I really think there's just this whole disconnect from what the fan base is ultimately looking at with this stuff. And I'm telling you, you lose that and you disconnect with that, you lose it all. It's like, great, win one quick battle, great, you can monetize this if you want, but your losses that you're going to take otherwise, I mean, it was pretty stark to see how Star Wars fans, I think, came behind this, how Lucasfilm ended up coming in. A really cool situation, but of course handled humbly by the original video creator himself. It's just seeing all this, I can't help but just think it's another reminder for me about how important it is for whatever you do to come from a genuine space. And right. I get it. A lot of people, YouTube's their livelihood, or making videos is their livelihood. Even if they don't monetize everything, they do understand that their fan base, everybody else helping them out. I mean, look, their channel's not going to exist if it hasn't been for that. They put out the best work they possibly can. So I think coming from that genuine place, not being skeevy or trying to get over or get cash ASAP, it's a reminder, man. It's cool to see. Yeah. I'm happy to see people that behind it.
Just dirty.
Yeah.
Just I mean, he talked to LucasArts about, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? What should I do? What shouldn't I do? And he followed the rules.
Right.
And he did what he should have done, and then somebody just comes in and filed a claim as far as monetization, just starts taking money. And somebody just needs to smack that person. Not too hard, but a good serious bitch slap. Just a serious bitch slap, though. Whoever decided, just smack. Not too hard. You want them to be able to go about their day, but you want them to feel it. And you want them to think about it. Just bitch slap. Dirty. God, you're dirty. All right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, but good, but a happy ending in general. So.
All right, let's get into some more dirty Star Wars shit. Huh?
Here we go.
Yep. All right. Don't take off your raincoat yet.
No.
Because we're still in it.
Hey, we could not bring Star Wars downers without bringing EA into this, could we? No, man. Look.
Well, not if you want to talk to EA, I guess. They had something to say. I guess they saw the whole thing with Warner Chappell, and they were like, "Hold my beer."
Yeah. Pretty much. So, after Star Wars Battlefront, after Battlefront 2, the disasters we've had with that, it looks like we have yet another EA misstep lining up here. This is in the form, though, of a completely scrapped Star Wars title. This just came to light this week. This report was cross-referenced, confirmed by Kotaku. This project was codenamed Orca, and this was apparently fairly early in its development cycle. This was meant to be a big-time open-world Star Wars title. I know something people who play Star Wars games have been dying for. And as a quick preface to this, look, if there's any notion out there that Star Wars games were in some way far and few in between and that they were just these rare one-offs, no, they weren't. We have a history of Star Wars games that have come out.
There's 10,000 Star Wars games.
Tons of them. I'm not just talking about, releases that were sort of, cult celebrated, like Star Wars Shadows of the Empire and N64. I mean, who could forget Knights of the Old Republic? Who could forget Star Wars Galaxies in its early run? I mean, we could go on and on and on, but they are not small, one-offs and stuff like that. So you're going to get the fan base's attention with open world big games like that. Well, the reason why this was thrown in the dumpster was EA apparently wanted a Star Wars title released faster, ideally for around late 2020 or so. And you know what? This whole open world thing, this is just not happening fast enough. We need something we can just throw out there immediately. Lord Almighty, like.
And the irony to that is that the remnants of the last Star Wars game they scrapped, which would have been out by now, was put towards this game. That's what birthed this game. Was they killed the last game, and so as rightfully so, they're like, well, what can we do with this? Maybe we can make something else. But then they scrap that because they want something else faster. How does
it's pretty unbelievable. Looking back at some more of the history behind all this. Now, back around October of 2017, EA completely shut down Visceral Games studio, and they rebooted the stuff they were working on. It was at that time it's kind of like a linear action Star Wars game.
Yeah, and it was a single player, probably your average everyday single player chapter story driven game.
Right. And
by the way, the director from Uncharted was working on that game.
Oh wow, I did not know that tidbit. Cool.
Yeah, she took a bunch of money, and it's my understanding she left the Uncharted series to work on this game.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh no, not right on, because we're not going to get it.
No, we're not. But I mean, it's cool she was, but look, the title after that, which is of course what we're looking at, that was supposed to be the more open world style game where you played from the perspective of like a bounty hunter or something like that. So yeah, all the right things were on the board for this to be built, and you would think with the debacle that was Battlefront 2 that EA would be looking to really rally the troops somehow and try to salvage something out of this. I mean, you have Star Wars, such a massive IP, but no, just no. And this before it's even out the gate is setting to fall on its face. Just terrible decision. It just look. For as much bad rap as EA gets, and as much as they're getting hammered, and by the way, this makes me nervous with all of this happening so close.
You should be nervous. I've been trying to tell you that for a year.
With this happening so close to Anthem as well, bad. Storm clouds on the horizon.
What's the name of the company that's making Anthem?
BioWare?
BioWare, yeah. BioWare's life hangs in the balance.
It does. Yes, it does. So now, if I recall,
not that they have any real control over what they're doing. So these the puppets.
The
EA's pulling all the strings.
EA devil horns, man.
Look. I mean, and again, yeah, it's as far as most of us do. I think I remembered at some point that there was a comment that was said that they were going to try to take what was left from the game from. That they canceled prior and try to do something with it, but who knows whatever happens with that. Well, apparently this is what happened to that, and I can just see it because it's supposed to be some kind of big open world sandbox game. I mean, when you have an IP like Star Wars and you can't even describe it in any Star Wars specific terminology, saying, "Oh no, this is a game that's going to be based between episodes 4 and 5," or "This is a game that's going to be based on Mandalorians," or "This is going to be, even this is going to be a game based all about Ewoks." No, instead, what you get is this was a sandbox Star Wars game. Open world sandbox Star Wars game. That tells. I mean, it sounds like there was no heart in this thing at all.
Right.
And it's like, well, look, all right, well, we have this game that we canceled. We have all this, we've done all this design work. What can we do with this? It's like, what are the kids playing if they're not, they don't want to play monetized, their brain fart. Sorry.
No,
I'm running out of nothing here today. They don't want to play our shooter, and they don't want to spend money on the shooter. They don't want to spend money on Battlefront 2. What else can we get them to spend money on? What are the kids liking now? Oh, they like that Grand Theft Auto. Look at that. Rockstar's making all kinds of money with the Grand Theft Auto. Then let's make one of those. I mean, you can just see that, right?
Yeah.
Just look. You know what? You know what? Look. When you're, after you're done taking whoever into the back shed, why don't you come back out for EA and take them into the back shed too? Just, Jesus. Hey man, look, you and I, when we talked about this a long time ago, we were going to tackle Anthem together, and after Battlefront 2, I'm like,
You say I ain't touching with the 10-foot pole.
I'm done with it. I'm not messing with this. I'm not going to do it. You're still taking it on. You're going to tackle it. Hey, all right. If the numbers aren't there, though,
yeah,
it's not going to go well.
There's so much that lies in the balance for, of course, BioWare, for EA, and looking at Anthem, it's at such a you can't help but be filled with some trepidation about this kind of thing. I mean, this is on the knife edge of this has the potential to do more than Destiny 2. Or it has the potential to completely sink a ship.
Oh yeah, this thing could break records easily. It has the potential to do it. I'm conflicted about it because I really want EA to just kind of shrivel up and die.
Yeah.
So we're about to go through some major stuff in the gaming industry right now, and in gaming right now, I really want them to be a victim of it. I really do.
Yeah.
And I say that knowing that they own my favorite real-time strategy series, and that's okay though. I'm not a huge fan of real-time strategy. I can take one for the team along with it. But yeah, just look, God damn it, give Star Wars to someone else, Disney. I know you can't be happy with them. You can't be. It's not possible. They've not made you the money that you were expecting by far. Battlefront 2, I mean, when I was looking, $20. $20 it was this holidays. $20 new.
Golly.
And, sitting there on the shelf with other games that had come out a year ago or over, sitting there $50, $60. Battlefront 2 sitting there in the corner. Literally, it was in the corner when I was looking. It's down in the bottom left corner. It's $20, $19.98, and what are they doing for you? Oh, we're making this and this and this, and then it doesn't come out. there's got to be something in your contract that says you can get rid of these guys. Just get rid of them. Just
has to.
God damn. And it sucks because the amount of resources and money that EA probably wastes, that they probably wipe their ass with, we could be getting from other companies all these great other games.
Yes, we could.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Just kill them. You know what? Just kill them after a few months after Anthem. Let Ian play some Anthem. Then kill him. Let him get some Anthem in first, though. Then kill him.
And they can go. Why can I see you saying that with a Bane mask on? Then you have my permission to die.
That's right. Let him play some Anthem, though. He's still excited about it, the poor kid. So.
Poor kid. Right for you watch your hopes and dreams crushed. So I'm gonna get in that Colossus though before anything, dude. I'm gonna have my heavy. So.
All right, you get your heavy.
Oh well. Well, we'll see what happens. On to some surprise / better news. Well, definitely better than the EA pool we've been walking in. This is about a new fighting game coming out. This is for Power Rangers. Now, okay, the last time I remember something like this tease, and I think, Chris, you were saying it was there was kind of like a sprite style.
Yeah, there's an old 2D sprite game that came out forever ago.
Yeah, I haven't seen any Power Rangers games, let alone a fighting game, in a really long time. This is called Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. They have already announced the release date for that. I know in my notes it's butchered, but that's coming out this April. They already have some pre-orders and stuff available for that. Also, the Green Ranger, the old school Green Ranger, Jason David Frank made an appearance.
Yeah, but teaser. You know what? He'll make an appearance at the local Burger King.
He will. He shows up everywhere and all the time, especially anything Power Rangers related. I mean, the guy has never dropped it. But look, in the spirit of a time where you have a lot of these older franchises coming back for fighting games and stuff, while I'm kind of getting a DB Fighters Z vibe out of this, sort of, I'm not really too excited about this.
Really? Are you sure?
Well, no, not as much hype. Not as much hype, but I'm only saying that because of the style. See, you have Dragon Ball happens with sort of like a 2.5D thing where you have these 3D backgrounds, and in fact, very interactive. Like if you send somebody flying through 3 mountains into the next city, you'll get these crazy camera angles, but it's still 2D gameplay. I'm just saying it's looking like they're doing that whole 2.5D thing here.
Well, that's why I was being sarcastic, because I'm sure they're trying to emulate that as much as possible.
Yeah, but it's not going to fly.
No, yeah, this stunk of cash grab from start to finish.
Yeah.
I don't know how big the Power Ranger fan base is now. I mean, God, I remember that stuff started when I was in high school.
Oh man, yeah.
I'm old as shit, so it's been around a long time.
This was my early elementary school, man, like second grade. Yeah.
They try with Power Rangers. What, they had a new movie come out a couple years ago. It didn't land well. I remember directors saying that was going to be the first of 7 that they were going to make, and that hasn't happened. Hey, whatever. You got your IP. You want to make some money off it. Maybe it's going to be a genuinely good game. But I saw this, and I'm just like, and again, I'm not too up on my Power Rangers. I don't really know how big the fan base is, but.
Right.
I can't, I can't imagine that this is gonna take anything by storm.
Oh yeah. We'll be seeing it at Evo, right? No.
Yeah. Now, what was the name of it? Power Rangers what?
Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
Okay, the other one was just called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers: The Fighting Edition.
Sure, old school.
Yeah. So. One of the cheapest games ever made, is my understanding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really I believe it. For as much as I was into Power Rangers, like, second, third grade, I don't think I ever played like any of the games, portable or anything else. They just never hit my radar. So
no, same here. The original one made by Bandai.
There you go.
Surprise, surprise.
What do you know? Oh man. Speaking of Bamco, well, I can't say Bamco, but whenever I think of Bandai, I think of Namco Bandai Armored Core, and then these leftover vestiges of Armored Core that we have that Chris and I have followed from a distance. Neither one of us have any stock in this game, but it's sort of become a joke between us.
Which is good because if we had stock in it, we'd lose money.
Yeah, we would. This a brand new trailer hit for Left Alive. This was for the Armenian invasion. I have no idea what that is. I'll be honest with you. But we got
no one does.
We got a bit of a look at what it looks like. It's supposed to be a bit of the story. Again, this was the collab between Square Enix. Also, Konami worked on this, and the previous producer, Mr. Namashima from Armored Core. Look, you see AC vibes written all over this, from the mech transports to the way that you zoom in on certain parts. It's just, I'm not feeling this as much as I love mecha. No.
They announced this. We were talking about this over a year ago. Have we even seen gameplay footage yet?
Very, very sporadic, maybe quick snapshots. It hasn't been anything involved I know of. Yeah. Most of the footage for this is cinematic stuff. It's not that gameplay related. And what we have seen is you're not. This isn't about mecha piloting. If anything, you're fighting against mechas on foot more. So,
all right.
Yeah, it can be left alive.
Throw it in the pile. Yeah, throw it in the pile of Power Rangers.
Yeah. Nothing new to report there. But speaking of we did have some new footage. There's a new cover story over from Game Informer showing off some new gameplay for Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. If you were watching E3, this was the headliner game from Software, coming off of their huge reign with Dark Souls. Earlier than that, Demon Souls, and of course the work they've done with Bloodborne. This is going to be the latest in that style. Looks like they're doing their best to try to make distinctions between this and Dark Souls. But let's face it, the Dark Souls style and the action adventure. Look, they're going to run this hard. They found.
And we know that too. That's what they do.
We do. That's what they do.
They get a franchise that's making some money and they drive it right into the ground.
The stuff.
You like that one? Here's another expansion.
There you go. So they're driving forward with this. They showed off a lot more of the gameplay, more of the mechanics here that you can be expected to encounter. So hey, if you've been checking out footage for this one, if you're following it close, again, please check into Game Informer to really dig into this and really lots of detail to see the direct footage and the way some of the cool mechanics about this work. I know the only thing I knew about it beforehand was it's a samurai who is killed. I mean, you're basically dead at the start of the game, but you are brought back to reclaim your vengeance. And
Humans Plus.
It's pretty much Human Plus with a really weird arm, and you got this crazy sword.
That is Humans Plus.
Yeah. So H plus medieval style.
Yeah.
But visually, though, this looks solid. The gritty feudal style combat that you've probably become pretty familiar with by this point. But their latest entry in it doesn't look like it's gonna disappoint if you're a big fan of it.
There you go.
So, well, on the hype train though, what I really want to talk about, and I feel like I'm in the '90s all over again. Mortal Kombat 11 has just had a stream of news that has come out lately. And look, I've never been one to play MK Hardcore, but I did take a look at we got a bunch of stuff that came out. We saw the fatalities. We got more reveals of characters that are going to be in it. And Chris, look, I want to pass the mic to you about this because you're actually working on this for our channel. In fact, you got some stuff you're going to be working on tonight and beyond for it. With the swath of info we got, how are you feeling about all of it? Digging it?
Baraka never did that in the 90s. That's just... So MK Day has come and gone, and it was great. We have 7 characters now. Mm-hmm. Everything looks really good. They're bringing Scarlet back, which is awesome. Baraka's coming back. They've still not told us too much on the story, but they laid it all out for gameplay. And the game looks really good. I have not had a chance to really delve into everything as much as I would even like right now. We record this on a Saturday. It's typically out on a Sunday. By that point, I will start having a couple videos released on Monday. And we're going to try to do a Monday thing every week for Mortal Kombat going into its release. it didn't disappoint. NetherRealm Studios is one of the best companies out there right now. Some people could say, even though they don't delve into different kind of genres, they're getting up there as far as quality and reliability and just trust for gamers.
Right.
They go full bore on their games, and you get a lot for them. And what can I say? I've been a fan of Ed Boon's for decades now. This looked great. It didn't disappoint in any sense, and not that I was going in with a lot of expectations, but as far as quality, there was a lot, and just I really like how I like how a lot of things are going to play off each other as far as what you can do. You do this, and then you can do that, and supers look cool, crushing blows look cool.
Yeah,
you got some defense and offense meters there. I haven't had a chance to look into that too much. I mean, aesthetically, it all looks great. The gameplay looks solid. We still don't know a lot more beyond that, though. I mean, MK Day was definitely filled of news. There was a couple things that I think might have leaked. I haven't had a chance to go over all the footage yet. This looks great, though. I'm looking forward to it. I will not be getting the collector's edition, though. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I didn't catch a cost. If it's I don't need a ninja mask. I'm pretty sure I don't need that. I'm not gonna pay what it's probably gonna be an extra $100 or $60 or something. It's like I'll get your premium edition. I'll get my combat pack because I'll spend money on that anyways. And I trust NetherRealm enough to where I will spend for the premium edition. But I don't need a ninja. Can you actually? From what I can see, you can't actually wear that ninja mask.
No,
it's mounted, right?
Yeah.
I have no interest in that then. If I could maybe wear the ninja mask, but
I was gonna say, if you could wear it, I would, dude. I would almost pay to see you show up at an MK tournament with that. You'd be the most intimidating ninja.
maybe that, but you know what? They can't do that because next thing you know, that game comes out April 23rd and April 25th. You're hearing something in the news about some poor kid got injured or possibly even worse by another kid wearing the frickin' Scorpion ninja mask.
Exactly.
You can't do that. But whatever. And I feel kind of bad for everyone who already pre-ordered, though. I hope they can switch their orders.
Yeah.
I already pre-ordered the other one. Now I got to order two. I felt a little bad about that. It looks great. One of my, some of my favorite things. And again, I haven't been able to go over all the coverage, but definitely I caught the whole reveal, which is about 40 minutes long. I love the fact, and I noticed a couple people commented on this, but I didn't see a lot personally. I love the fact how the stage and the whole thing looked like right out of hell from the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Ooh, good point.
That was pretty cool. I caught on to that right away, but if I didn't catch on to that, I would have been upset with myself. No, it was just cool. I love the fact, at least from what I saw, the people who are working on this, especially Ed Boon, who's been doing this since I think 92.
Yeah, man.
He still loves this. You can see it. He loves this. He's so into what he's doing.
Yep.
And you got to appreciate that. Going. He's pushing 30 years with it now, and there's just so much here, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's a good time to be a Mortal Kombat fan.
Cool.
I hope they do this justice. And the last thing I'll say is, they're going to start doing time stuff, and they're going to find, obviously, with Baraka back and other people back that are dead. People dying in Mortal Kombat's nothing new as far as the canon goes, and bringing them back. But with the reboot, in fact, Ed Boon was very strict on saying this when before 10 came out. And everyone was like, "I want this character and this character," and he would say on Twitter, "Nope, they're dead. They're dead. They're not coming back."
Yep.
And it looked like he was staying strict to it. It looked like, look, we've started a whole new story thing with MK9, and we've rebooted things, and we're we're telling stories in a new way that you haven't even seen in fighting games, and it looked like there was going to be a lot of integrity to the story, and I hope that's still the case. It's like, look, I get it. You're getting a lot of pressure because you killed a lot of people's favorite characters, including my own, by the way. But I was able to go past it. I'm like, all right, you know what though? There's integrity to this, so let's keep going. I hope they do it right. I'm concerned about that. At the end of the day, I'm going to play it because it's Mortal Kombat and I love Mortal Kombat. But I hope they get the story thing right. I hope whatever reason they're using to bring people back and merging timelines and all, just do it right. Just do it right. Keep the integrity going.
I'm hoping this is a heyday for you. I know you only really know this until you really you won't know until you get a hold of actual gameplay. You get some time to really delve in, see how everything feels. If this is indeed the game that brings you back into playing a fighting game competitively too, that'd be really cool to say, because that puts you into a whole nother level of
Man, don't call it a comeback.
Been there, but you've been there before. You've been there. All right. I'm with you.
If there was a comeback, it was a comeback with 10, because I was in some bad times when 9 came out. And
right.
I had to wait forever to be able to play it or own my own copy and such.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You're next.
Oh, you're next.
I actually am. Oh man, this has been awesome though. I'm really looking forward to the release, and I believe this is already on schedule for Evo.
Is there any doubt?
Yeah, there can't be at this point. Of course you're going to get all the Injustice people on this and everything, and I can't wait to actually see this later on this year. So, all right. Well, I think that about brings us to our wrap up, and it's time for an info minute. Chris, were you ever into Robot Wars or anything like that?
Robot Wars. Was that the old show that was on Comedy Central where people would battle the robots, or was that called something else?
You got it.
Oh, I love that show. Oh my gosh, that's late 90s, early 2000s greatness. Robot Wars on Comedy Central and Tech TV. Oh,
Tech TV.
Those were the days, man.
No, that was good stuff. What I found is something that would probably appear on Tech TV way back when, but some of the ads for this have been kind of cheesy. Look, what I'm pointing to is what a certain group is trying to lead to with real life mech racing. If I can speak, real life mech racing.
You don't need to be all sloshy with your words like I am.
This is from Prosthesis Mech Racing. That's what this is called. And look, as novel as this concept is, and the closest thing I could even think to something like it maybe in the past was Robot Wars or whatever, this is just an ad for something I feel is not quite there yet for the very thing it's advertising. So, what's this all about? This is actually a group that this has been around for about a year now, but I didn't even look into this. I didn't even realize it. The tech itself is this literally about a 3,500 kilo max. This thing is this is huge. The top speed though is only 30 kilometers an hour, and they've got the rest of the specs listed for. I think the peak output, it's got 225 horsepower. This is 100% human controlled. It's got like electro hydraulics on it for like the full movement, and it's sort of balanced like a quadruped. Thumbs up. Well done. They realize. Yeah, it's sort of balanced like a quad for the way it travels, and at the very least they've worked out this system for full range of movement. Now, it strikes me as odd that the first thing they sign this up for or bill this as and advertise it for is racing, because racing elicits speed naturally. I don't think I have to go too far into explaining that. Something electric powered at that. The races aren't going to be too fast. I think the concept itself is novel here, but I just don't think the tech is quite caught up with what they want to do advertising-wise. So I look at this and I say, okay, now I think it's just awesome that people are building like exobionic mech suits. That we're at that point right now in history. That's awesome. But the racing stuff, save that for another 100, 200 years or something. I don't know.
No, you don't need to know. This is dumb.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I'm watching this video, and
it's cheesy, isn't it?
Yes, it's pretty cheesy, but I think what ruins it is at the end you can tell that those mechs they're not. Those are CGI.
Yes, they are.
You got the real thing going there, and that's kind of cool. This is obviously to make money, probably funding to continue on to the projects,
right?
And But yeah, that was just bad at the end.
Yeah. It's almost like they realized that their own brand that they're trying to push. Like, look, let's just CGI something smooth in, and they get the idea going from there.
Which is kind of crazy that they'd even try that, considering the first minute of the video, maybe even minute and a half, is these mechs actually walking.
Right.
And then they don't walk like that at all. At the end, like, they're way smoother now. They're way better. And who's the 10-year-old girl? What's up with that?
I have no idea. The Challenger has appeared. What is it?
She's buff. She's been lifting weights.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. So this is sort of like you said. Look, it's probably just for continuing the sake of research and stuff like that. This is a mispackaging, I believe, in terms of advertising the use of and stuff like this. But just the basics of it, that this stuff is getting built. Cool. Can't help but like it. So.
Give me more Robot Wars.
Right? Just go back to that.
While you're at it, give me Tech TV back too.
Why don't you put like some saws and stuff and put this on Robot Wars?
That's right.
That'd be awesome.
That's right. Yeah. Instead of rating, why is it got to be racing? Why can't it be fighting?
Thank you. It'd be so much cooler. This thing would be a tank, like built with all that reinforcement.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of protection for the driver, but that's okay. We don't care. That's okay.
That's risk that comes with the territory.
That's right. If you get into a giant robot with the intention of fighting another giant robot, you have to take the bumps wherever they lead you. And if that is your death, how's it go? If he dies,
he dies.
That's right. Robot Wars.
Oh, love it. Oh man. Okay, people. That brings us to the end here. Hey, look, thank you so much for hanging with us again. Hey, look, we adore what we do here, but we can't do that without you guys. So, hey, if you enjoyed what you hear here, hey, give us a comment. Let us know below. You just want to fight about something? Sure. You want to comment?
I'll fight you.
Chris is ready for you.
I'll get in my robot.
You want to talk about something you love or hate it? Hey, we want to hear from you. But any likes, subscribes.
Let's do more positive than the negatives. I'll fight you, but I'd rather talk about nice things.
Ditto. Any of that you guys got? Hey, throw that our way. We'd be really appreciative. But until next time, thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to look down in the description below for specifics on this one, and we're going to catch you guys again. Stay tuned. Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, there anything we go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but it'd be great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksawmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.